All right, N lovers and N owners, it's time for a new tank of gas, and we're about to do some octane learning. So I'm at my favorite little mobile spot here. I'm gonna put some 93 in and show you guys how I do octane learning on my 2025 Elantra N. I had a 2023 before this, and I did it the same exact way for octane learning. It only works one way for me, which is essentially doing the city driving version. So I am going to show you guys how I do it, because it seems like a lot of people have issues online or out there in the N-verse. So of course, 93. Fill that bad boy up. And essentially, I'll tell you guys right now how I do it, so you don't have to watch a whole video, or you can watch a whole video because I'm not going to cut it. But I go driving for 15 minutes, fourth gear. You can do it in third gear also, but essentially 50% throttle on and off. So I start at 55 miles an hour, then go from 55 to 65, ease off the throttle or ease off the gas, like come back down to 55, and just do that over and over again for about 15 minutes, and you will definitely see it pop up to from 15 pounds of boost to 17 or 18 psi. So that's essentially it, but I'm going to show you how I do it so that there is no questions. I've tried the highway version of it, where you're just driving at a certain speed with load on the vehicle, but it never worked for me whatsoever. I've owned two manuals, and this is the way it works for me for manual. So, all right. Next time you'll see me is in the car. All right, so back in the car. Just got a fresh tank of gas. Let's get this bad boy started. Yeah, I changed my top mount brake light, so it doesn't like it. It is what it is. It's now LED. You'll be okay. All right, so let's go on over to our fuel side of the house. Let's go ahead and reset. All right, I've only done it in N mode typically. I mean, you can probably do it in any other mode, but I just live in N mode. Why have the car if I'm not going to live in N mode? So it doesn't matter if it's N custom or whichever, doesn't matter. It's a nice looking truck, not too shabby. All right, so when we kick off, it's probably going to be 8:40. So by 8:55 we should be N learn, or octane learn, I should say, not N learn. And we're going to kick off. Get on out here. I do it on this little road because I don't impede traffic. So right now, if I floor it, that's all we're getting. It's 14, right? So we got 840. Pretty much get up to 6 psi. I'm gonna get up to 65, and then I'm gonna ease off. Wait for 55. Do this again. After you do this a bunch of times, you just know what it feels like, right? You'll know what 55 or 50% of throttle feels like. It just feels normal. It just feels right, Brian. You know what I'm saying? More than likely I'll hit some stoplights during this time, but it'll be okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just in the ballpark. Like 55 to 65 because traffic just essentially goes around you. They look at you crazy. They're like, why is this guy speeding up and slowing down? Like right now. And they're probably just like, okay, that's weird. But I don't care. That's end life, baby. So 6 PSI is usually what you want to aim for. Hopefully we keep this green light coming up here. I think we're going to catch this green light. That's going to be good. The car sounds good when you're doing it. It's amazing. As far as modifications, there are 0 modifications on this car. I had a Forge intake on it that I bought for my 2023, so I got I had the Forge on it, but it was always throwing that damn PCV code, so I took it off. Not like it made, as a matter of fact, it made the car slower with the Forge intake on. How do I know that? Because I raced a dude that owns a Merc when I had it on, and he was barely beating me, and then when I put the OEM intake back on, he couldn't beat me. At least from like 30 to 100, he couldn't beat me. We were side by side, neck and neck, and that was a good old little compressor. So definitely faster with the intake on. It's just the sound. The sound is amazing, but you know, turbo floater, depending on who you talk to, is not a good thing. So unfortunately, I can't put it back on. I'm not gonna keep on dealing with that damn check engine light that pops up. So, but next modification I want to make is put a downpipe on it. That's the plan. And then more than likely a tune from lap 3. Oh, and I did order the downpipe I ordered is from Whoosh Motorsports. They seem pretty cool and very reasonable with their prices. I have to give them credit for that. That's why I went with them. Their prices are very reasonable. We'll see what the quality is like. So I ordered the downpipe this past weekend, of course, for what is it? Yeah, Black Friday. You know, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that BS. So downpipe ordered, and the Whoosh Motorsports has, or Whoosh, however you want to pronounce it, has a, they just put online a mid-pipe for this vehicle, which is also reasonable compared to what everybody else wants for it. So I was just gonna do the resonator delete, but for $200 just to chop off that that small piece of metal and weld another one on, I figured it's probably better to spend a couple $100 more and get an actual mid pipe. That way I won't mess with my OEM stuff, but you know, to each his own. Do whatever you want to do. Going up on this good old bridge here, Sidney Lanier Bridge. By now you probably know what part of Georgia I'm in. If you're close by here in Brunswick, Georgia, you know, hit me up. There's not a lot of N's in town, that's for sure. Whenever I see another N, I'm like super happy, like a freaking kid in a candy store. So, but as you can see, I had to slow down because of traffic, but it's still the same concept. Octane learning is Octane learning, you know what I'm saying? So we're 6 minutes in. If you know anything about Brunswick, man, sometimes it can really stink because of that plant that's over there. But it is what it is. Some nice, beautiful views. Yeah, I know it's TMI. It is what it is. Deal with it. And I'm not going to edit this so that I know when I first got my 2023 N, I knew nothing about Octane learning, and it wasn't until one day I was doing some spirited driving. That was a horrible one, but we're going down a bridge and people are in front of us. But I was like just driving around doing some spirited driving, and all of a sudden I looked over at my brother who was in the passenger seat. I was like, yo, did this thing get faster? Do you hear that? How it sounds faster? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I looked over at the PSI and I was like, oh my god, 18 PSI? I was always at 15. What the hell is this? And I started looking it up and researching it. It was like Octane learning. What the hell is Octane learning? So yeah, relax. And ever since then I was like, how the hell do I do this again? So I tried the highway technique, wasted fucking so much gas doing the highway technique. It was horrible. And then I tried this technique right here, circuit mode or whatever it's called, circuit mode Octane learning, and it has worked for me ever since on my 2023 and on this 2025. I got rid of the 2023 because it was a lemon. For me, it was a lemon. Some people would take it and love it and be like, hey, there's nothing wrong with this car. Das vidanya, good on you. But definitely wasn't my cup of tea. So try it again. And I like the styling of the 2024s and on. To each his own. I mean, it's all the same thing underneath. But I didn't get rid of the 2023 for the 2025. If that is a question that's on anyone's mind. It's really just the way the situation rolled. I definitely noticed some differences that I missed from the 2023, like being able to put my forage intake on it. This brake light thing that popped up, the top brake light, never had that problem before. So this car this year seems to be a little more sensitive, and of course here we go, I'm at a light. So even though I'm at a light, it should still work. This happens to me every time. Yeah, I think that this car is a little more sensitive electronically, but everything else, I mean, it feels good, sounds good. It's hard to tell the difference between the two. It's definitely more oversteer happy, that's for sure. I've been pleasantly surprised a couple of times. But let's keep that bad boy in fourth. A little bit too much, but it'll be okay. Oh, sweet. We got another green light coming up. Looks like well, to me it's a stale green, but traffic's just moving off, so. And now we're going deeper into town, so I'm gonna have to slow down from 55 and probably do 45 to 55 or 40 to 50. Kind of whatever works here. So we'll come down to 40. I could do third gear. You can do this in third gear also. It's not a big deal. What else is there? Why did I get an N? Yeah, good question, dude. Absolutely. Why did I get an N? I think it's the biggest bang for your buck, man. There's no other manufacturer around that's doing what Hyundai's doing with the N division. I mean, CTR has always been around. That's the thing. And you know, more power to them. Give them credit, but it's biggest bang for your buck, man. I don't want to spend that much money just because I care about the resale value of the car, or just to have that red badge or whatever it is. Again, not knocking the CTR guys. Love those dudes. They've got some really good videos. More power to them. Just essentially not really, I don't want to spend that much money. And then also, I don't like the fact that it's 4 seats. I like my I like being able to take the whole family in the whip. Oh, we got construction coming up here, so we'll see if we can get on over. I like being able to take the whole family in the whip, and also oh, definitely the wrong thing. And having 5 seats is what I'm essentially what I was trying to say earlier. And also the value for what you get, right? When I look at this vehicle, you have a bunch of safety suites, all the sensors that are on it, forward collision warning sensors, rear collision warning sensors, USB Type-C, heated seats. I love the N logo on it. It's not just something that's like stitched in the seat, but it's actually legit an N illuminated logo. I love that feature. Actually, I wish they would have done it where they gave you the one from the Ioniq 5 N. That's a dope one. Being able to see it from the rear seats, I like that. At another stoplight here, but we're almost at 15 minutes. We got a green. And what's the other car? There's really no other cars in the market that does what this does. And growing up, I really loved whether it's the Evo 8 or 9. I love the Evo 8 and 9. That's my childhood dream car. Couldn't afford it when I was growing up. So now that I'm a little bit older and I can afford something, at least this is the closest thing to it. Yeah, it's not all-wheel drive, but essentially you're still looking at the same setup and horsepower that the Evo from, the 8, 9, and technically I'm not a big fan of Evo 10. Unfortunately, it kind of has the same engine as the Evo 10, so there's that. But I love the 4G63 engine, or 4G64. I had a Mitsubishi Galant. One was a 4G63, one was a 4G64. It is what it is. Correct me in the comments. I don't give a shit. Let's see here. I can go on and on about this car, but that's not what this video is about. Oh, I think we're at 55. So let's see. Nope, we need to wait a little bit longer because this hasn't done it. So must be all that stopping and stuff. So let's go a little bit longer. This happens, of course. So let's go a little bit longer. Manual says 5 minutes, but it will never get done in 5 minutes. As you can see, I'm over 15 minutes now. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Octane Learn. See that? for me, 15 minutes is what this bad boy needs. It needs 15 minutes of knowing, hey, you've been trying to do octane learning. So let's see here. Bust this U-turn. Always fill up and do it on the way to work so I'm not wasting gas trying to octane learn. So at least I'm getting something out of it, right? So there we go. So pretty much done. Hopefully that answers all your questions about octane learning on a manual, at least. I had a buddy that had an automatic, a 2022 automatic, and I did the same exact thing on his car. Got that bad boy octane learn, so it worked also on the 2022s at least. So yeah. You can hear it, you can feel the difference. It is a whole new different car. I mean, whole new different car, not exaggerate, but it just feels good. Every tank, I want it octane learned every tank. I don't have to do half tank or anything like that. I'm able to get it from full tank all the way down to 0 miles. You get it octane learned. Only problem is once you're octane learn, you're like, you want to drive it hard, you know what I mean? And it's a catch-22 because, as you know, it doesn't have a big fuel tank. It's a 12-gallon fuel tank. Right, wrong, or indifferent. It is unfortunate. I feel like I'm filling up way more than usual, but hopefully with a tune, we can kind of quiet that down a little bit. Sometimes when I octane learn, it will go up to 18 and stick at 18. Sometimes it hits 18. It just depends on what it feels like doing that time. We'll slow down here. See what we can get from a lower RPM. But yeah, folks, ladies and gents, that's pretty much it. I'm signing out. Old VMAX here, VMAX N here. Just wanted to give you guys a video. There's probably plenty of videos out there, but take a crack at it. I'm always seeing in the forums people asking this question, and you're right for asking the question. You're not wrong at all. It is frustrating. I freaking hate octane learning. Just give me the friggin' thing the way it should be, you know what I mean? I can't stand octane learning, but this is just the way Hyundai decided to do it. You know, whether it's for emissions or it's for preserving the engine, I think it's really for emissions. Not making excuses, because I'm not gonna like be delusional and be like, oh, okay, well, I just have to love it. No, it's fucking dumb. But I wish it would be advertised much better, right? Hyundai has some way to go, but they just need to advertise that much better. That, hey, your car you need 93, and also you need to octane learn it for it to happen. All right. It's a 25-minute video. Jesus, who's going to watch this all the way through? But anyways, talk to y'all later. Peace.